Hello there, this is RomWills coming back at you with yet another smartphone couch video. Yeah, learn to read clues on a woman. Learn to read clues on a woman. And there ain't a book for this. The best way you could do this is to go out. You have to go out in public and you have to practice this. This is, I mean, yeah, you might have some books that can say this or that, and you might be able to see something on social media, but ultimately, it's knowing. It's knowing. And, well, two things. Well, one, I'm doing this smartphone video. There was some, I'll just say there was a plumbing emergency, so I gotta it was taken care of, but I got to hang around because I still got some people. They got to pick up some stuff. I had to, let's just say I had to turn off some things right now. Some, some machines that was drying up some moisture and all of that just to do this video. So I said I'll be home, but the show must go on. But you know what? Check it out though. I was thinking about that Saturday because one, I was went to a movie with my youngest son. He wanted to see, so I was like, okay, hang out with him a little bit. And we're at the movie theater, and the young lady helping us had I'll just say a New Age symbol, and I just said that's a nice symbol, but just her reaction to it, because then she kind of looked, as soon as I said that, she looked me up and down. I was like, oh, okay. But, I was just like, keep walking. I ain't nothing against the symbol. But I recognized the symbol. So now, say if I had seen that lady someplace else and I wanted to get that rap on, or, talk to her or approach her or something, her symbol was right there. Her symbol was right there. And I can say, hey, what's that symbol about? In fact, I remember I had mentioned when I was at this relationship expo a while ago, long time ago. And I had, y'all see that symbol in the back there, that Ginyami symbol? Well, I had that around my neck. And this very, like, naturally roll out of bed, beautiful woman walked up to me and said, hey, what's that? So, that, and, that was just, I would just say that was just something that she could check out. But this is talking about men getting a woman. That same day, me and both my sons, we stopped in this store. I had to pick up, some stuff for the house. I had to pick up some stuff for the house, and the young lady that checked us out, I looked at her and I was like, oh, okay. And I said, okay, she into some alternative sexuality. And she had a certain tattoo on her fingers, and I was like, yeah. And I could tell from the symbol. See, here's the thing. Learn to read the clues on a woman. Learn to read them. Learn to read whatever their class might be. And don't, hold up, before I even get to that point. Because invariably, whenever I talk about stuff like this, somebody will always say, oh, well, is there a book? No, there's not a book. Book reading is very important, but books can only tell you so much. You have to get out there. You have to deal with them. This is one of those things. If you just hanging out, you deal with different women. Like, say you approach different women. You doing what I say, saying hi to 3 women a day. At least saying hi. You picking up on, you not only just saying hi to them, but you picking up which one's responding to you. And then which ones are saying hi, which ones aren't saying hi. Whatever area you live in, what type of women live around there, what social class are they? Because I mentioned, okay, where I'm living now, a lot of professional women, a lot of younger professional women around here. They have a certain look to them. But where I used to live, let's just say the women were a bit rougher. Wherever you living at, you paying attention. Wherever you go, whatever neighborhood you go in, what are the women like? And that's even going beyond race. because where I live, shoot, we have mostly blacks and whites. We have mostly blacks and whites, but we have some professional blacks. We have some more ratchet blacks. We have some more professional white women. We have some more trailer park type of white women. You pay attention to every little thing. You pay attention. Okay, which one's wearing the tats? How are they behaving? Which ones have their hair cut more professional? When you go on different jobs, like if you're working, especially if you're working in a major city, walk around in the more professional area. How are the women looking? How are the women looking? What are they wearing? What type of clothes they wearing? Where are they buying their clothes at? How are they behaving? Even how they talking. I remember years ago, when I was first moved to the area and I was working at this particular store, and me and the family, we only had one car, so I had to take public transportation to get to work. And I remember there was a group of women that were always at this bus stop, and they were all loud. And it was a combination of black and white women, but they were more lower class. And I would just be quiet. But I was reading everything about them, looking at their hairstyles, body build. I was actually looking at their body builds too. There's some correlation there. Because, well, let me talk about that because I'll get to that in a second. But let me finish off with these women. I already knew where they were, but they would all be loud. But then when they were around me, they would start getting quiet because I wouldn't say anything. They would talk very respectful. They even their speech intonation would change. That's because I was carrying myself a certain way. And then what I was saying earlier about even the body builds, pay attention. Because when you have women who are living in a more upscale environment, they're always working out. They running. But then when you might be in poor environments, the women, you ain't going to see women running or keeping themselves in shape, the same type of shape. There's going to be better food in more upscale environments. You pay attention to every little thing, but you have to learn it. It's not something that, well, like I said, some guys will say, well, is there a book? If there's a book I'm not familiar with, I'm personally not. There might be, but don't ask me. Don't ask me, and I'm saying that specifically, don't ask me. Because I know, because I've been in very poor environments and then I've been in rich environments. I've been around all types of people. And that's one of the things. Now, it's important to read them and know the clue, because especially if you approach, even if you one of those people, you not about approaching, you about that whole code, like you gotta get some choosing signals. Okay, say a woman's giving you some choosing signals, you need to read her up and down and know how you're going to talk to her. Like I give you an example of the professional woman and the lower class woman. The more lower class woman in general, you gotta go hard. Shout out and may rest in peace, ARC. You have to be mode one with them. You can just be straight up. Hey, you look good. I remember when I was working in this retail store, and I remember this woman who was more lower class. She just looked me up and down. They more direct. But see, when you dealing with a more upper class woman, you can't be like all rough and, oh, hey ma, how you doing? Nah, you gotta be more polite. You can still approach them directly, but you gotta be more polite. And then when you look, you see the clues on them, that'll tell you what you can talk about. Now, like when I saw the young lady this past weekend, this Saturday, wearing that certain symbol, I could have got into a conversation about it. So like, oh, okay. We could have talked about something. We could have talked about something. We could have got into it. And in fact, I've done that before. I'll look at the symbol, like whatever spiritual symbol they wearing, or what they wearing, what they have on their T-shirt, how they cut their hair. That gives you an idea of what you can talk about, because that's giving you a clue. You're looking at it, even there. Because I remember a young lady, and this, I always remember this because she had on like the tower symbol of yin and yang on some earrings. It was like, oh, yin and yang. And see, when you had that clue, when you can look at them and know what to talk about, then that's opening up. That's opening up. That's opening up the conversation, because a big problem with many men, especially, is not even so much approaching women, but what to talk about. In fact, sometimes I'll get there. Well, what can I say? What can I say? But there's no universal thing, because, like, okay, using the example of those two young ladies I saw, one had a certain symbol. I'll just say it was a BDMSM type of symbol. I was like, oh, okay. I gotta be like a certain way if I found her attractive. If I found her attractive. I ain't really found her attractive, but I did. I was reading her. And I was reading like how she had her hair styled, everything. I said, yeah, she's that type. She would have been the type who would go for that guy who was more yin in nature. She wouldn't have gone for some guy who was more tough and like going to take charge type. Now, the other one with the symbol, you couldn't tell that from the initial look, but I could tell something to talk about. So you always paying attention for those things. You looking at that. You trying to read their class. And like I said, let me be abundantly clear. If there are books out there that tell you to do that, I'm not personally familiar with it. I didn't have to. I ain't saying there isn't, but still the best way is to get out the house. Pay attention. Go to different areas in your city. I had a young man who I was doing some consultations with, and he lived out in LA. He might even check this out. And one day he said he just took a bus one day just to hang out in Beverly Hills. And he could see it was different. When I've gotten out to San Diego several times, my family out there would drive me through the rich areas. You could see the difference. You could see the difference. Or going into certain stores. Like you get some stores, they might be more hood. You might have to be a little rougher. You might go through there a little rougher. You get some other stores might be like a Whole Foods or something. In fact, somebody who supports me, who's been supporting me for a long time, he said, yeah, he liked those Whole Foods type of women. You got to figure it out, because the biggest thing you have to figure out is not just the women, but which type of women respond to you. And trust me, they're always wearing a clue. They always have some type of clue as to what they're about. They always, I don't care, even if they dressed up, they have a clue. Even if they can have tats, whatever. In fact, when I was working retail, we had just specifically, just talking about we had all types that worked there, but just the black women there. Now, somebody that's seen it just see black women, but I said out of 9 different black women, all of them represented something different. So you had to approach them on a different level. Every single one represented something different, social class, whatever, and you could see the clues there. Like, think about, like, like I say, that the only way you can really learn this, the only way you can really figure this out is you're going to have to get out there. You're going to have to talk to women. You're going to have to learn from your own experience. What type of women have been down for you? Which type of women have rejected you? Which women have you been around? If you go out the house, you've been around it. If you're working on a job, what type of women are working on the job? What type of clues are there? And trust me, after a while, you can figure it out. You can figure it out. And then I'm going to be real, with social media now, all you have to do is just check out different profiles. And that's all you have to do. Just check out different, even if you ain't particularly down for it. Like, one of the things I'll do, I might just roll through some profiles. I was rolling through hashtag witch talk the other day. I was like, oh, okay, boom, they got this, this, and this. Okay, fine. You know? I'm real close to a young lady now who's more one of those earthy types. I was like, yeah, that fits you. But she looked different from somebody who's more bougie. Yeah, I get along with a lot of bougie women. So it's like you got to look at all of these things. Always look at the symbols. Always look at how they're dressed. All right? Look at whatever they're wearing, how they cut their hair, whatever. And that's how you learn. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. I don't know if I'll be doing a couch video or a car video tomorrow. Hopefully I'm doing a car video. Well, might be doing another couch. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.